Yeah, I'll be happy to introduce Samuel. Samuel, you are one of the most dedicated and spiritual people I know. And you really follow your heart. A lot of people, don't follow their heart fully like you do. So I think that's one of the highest compliments I can give you or anybody. Samuel, of course, does sacred geometry, and he has these pendants. They're made, I believe, over in India, and they're beautiful. Yeah, yeah, he's got it. And so that's part of his business, and he went to UCLA and just has worked all his life uh, hard on a spiritual quest. And he has an amazing presentation on sacred geometry, which very much connects us to the source of things. And so, with that, Samuel, I'll turn it over to you. I do have your presentation, and we got about halfway through last time. So, just tell me where you want me to go in it, and we'll
Why
go
don't
from
we
there.
just start with 14, day 14,
14. Okay, that sounds good. Let me get this up here.
part two of 31 ways to live an intentional life,
Okay.
which is an article that showed up many years ago in, trying to remember the name of the magazine, but I was impressed enough to share it. In fact, I even have it on my website, sacredfriends.org. Uh, and I thought it would be a good idea for us to all go over this material because it's valuable and can be helpful for all people. So, day 14 is journal about three new things you are grateful for. Psychologist Sean Anker told Oprah that you train your brain to be optimistic. If you do this for 21 days in a row, each day, write down three new things you are grateful for. And I'm going to reiterate, I think I mentioned last week that my mother, God bless her, Sylvia, was always worried about money. And it sort of gave me a negative experience of life. And I trained myself to be positive. And when I became a teacher back in the day, I used my time getting to school and back to work and back and home, about a half an hour each way. I would play positive tapes from Stuart Wilde uh, and two other people. And it taught me how to be positive. I literally reprogrammed my brain. And most of the time, it seems to work. Sometimes I fall back, like we're all human, but it's something we have control of. And given the choice of being negative or positive, I prefer being positive. So I offer that to you, knowing you have the power to shift that if it's an issue in your life. Anybody have any comments about that? Okay.
Sam, I'm
David,
grateful to you. My comment is that I'm so grateful to you.
thank you.
Yes.
Day 15.
Okay, there we
And
go.
while you're at it, journal about one positive experience today. We keep a journal of positive things that happen to us when we go through stuff. We can go to that journal to remind us of what's possible. Anybody have something to share about that?
I do. I just want
Levita?
to, yeah, it's Levita.
Yeah.
Um, I just want to acknowledge Hyacinth again. Years and years ago, when she presented at the Mastery Circle, it was on gratitude. And she gifted me with a gratitude journal. I'd never even heard of it before, and it has been very beneficial. So I take positive to also be in terms of gratitude. Thank you, Samuel.
Sure. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Patricia.
Yeah, I want to share something that happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I went to Trader Joe's and I parked in the street because their parking is too crazy. And then after my shopping, I go to my car and the stick shift would not move from parking. There was nobody in the street, and then all of a sudden I see a 30-year-old man, young man, coming out of his house and said, "Do you know, is there a trick that I can move the stick shift?" And so let me see. So he tried a few things, nothing worked. It was noon, it was Sunday, it was very, very hot in the valley. And I asked him, "Do you think you could give me a ride home? I'm only a mile away." And he said, "Sure." And he took me home. And when I came back home, I felt so grateful of having met this young man that was so kind to me. And that's where my attention was, that I met this wonderful human being that was so great and kind to me. Instead of thinking, what about me? My car is not working. What am I going to do? So it's a choice. It's a choice where we put the attention and also being grateful. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. Okay. For some reason, I'm having trouble getting a view of all the people here. So if someone would like to help me see raised hands, I'd appreciate it. Day 16, exercise for 15 minutes. Anchor also told Oprah that if you hate exercise, all it takes is 15 minutes of fun cardio activity, which is the equivalent of taking an antidepressant, but with a 30% lower relapse rate. I recently incorporated exercise into my life in a serious way. I did a 3-day cleanse, had the parasites cleaned out of my blood, and since then it's been a lot easier for me to eat a keto type diet because the parasites are not saying eat me, feed me, feed me, feed me. And it's been a lot easier to eat well most of the time and to exercise pretty much on a daily basis. I go 3 times a week to a trainer, and I have a vibration machine that I use and my wife uses on a regular basis. And I go jogging at the not jogging, used to run, walking at the local high school. So as a result, I'm exercising almost every day, and it really has improved my attitude. And I encourage all of you to take that on if you can. Any comments?
I think I saw Bill's hand up a minute ago.
Okay, Bill.
Bill, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, I sure did. Thank you, Lovita. Yeah, and thank you, Samuel. This is great. And I was just when you were talking about the attitude choice, it just so uh perfectly echoes what Michelle was saying earlier um about having a choice, and it was so obvious. She and well, for anybody that didn't hear, she had a difficulty at the getting her passport renewed, and the other gentleman who was there took exactly the opposite path. It was anger, it was frustration, it was, and she was just kind of just water off a duck's back kind of thing. So a very obvious example, and I've noticed that too sometimes, like waiting in a line. What are people doing? Are they just enjoying the experience, or are they being, is a burden to them? So anyway, thank you very much for pointing that out, and it's so important. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Looks like Paul and Bonnie Walker also, Samuel.
Okay, please.
Yeah, we take a 2.5 mile walk every morning, except
Wow.
this week. And it's just invigorating, you know. It's along the ocean. We see the pelicans feeding, and we meet our friends. And yeah, so that exercise just is invigorating.
You
So
tell the difference if we don't do it.
yeah,
It's so important. Yeah.
It comes down to a choice. How much are you willing to invest in your happiness and health? They are synonymous. Thank you for sharing. Okay, this is a good one. 17. Focus on your breathing. Stop what you're doing. Now breathe and watch your breath go in and out for 2 minutes. Do this every day. This allows your brain to focus on one thing at a time. In Anchor's study, he says it will raise accuracy rates, improve levels of happiness, and drop stress levels. That's a big one. I recently started working with a gentleman called David Clements. C is in cat, Lements. And he has a series of meditations which focus on the breath. And basically, he teaches you about diaphragmatic breathing, just like the baby breathes. We all know about that. But you work with that, and as you progress in that, you increase the amount of air that you're breathing in, first to your stomach, and then to your chest, and then up into your head. And this ultimately will connect you with your higher self. And it breaks down all the blockages between you, your physical body, and your higher self. And it's very powerful and wonderful. And I feel blessed that I have that to work on. Anybody have a comment? Breath is free.
yeah,
And
I have a comment. So every night, as I go to sleep, I do deep breathing, and I visualize the Holy Spirit coming into my heart and my body on the inhale. And then on the exhale, I have this process of letting go of worries and fears and all those kinds of things. And it's really serving me well. Uh, so
Yeah.
thank you for bringing this to our attention.
okay. Thank you for sharing. Day 18. Express kindness through text or email. Take 2 minutes each day to write a positive email or text praising or thanking someone you know, and do it for a different person each day. Anchor says people who do this become known as positive leaders with strong social connections, the greatest predictor of long-term happiness. You know, when you get to a place where you can share this positive information with others and you realize that they're an extension of yourself, or just a reflection, what you start to realize is the whole world is reflecting you and your positive nature will come back to you. It's a given. So, anybody have a comment on that?
I do.
I had a feeling, Diana, you were going to say something.
I love this. I love the fact that, I find that every day now that I'm just thinking of people, it gets richer and richer as I begin to express to people my appreciation for them and how they spark joy in me. It heals me, it heals them. It's just the best practice I've ever really enjoyed doing every day and look forward to. So I encourage everybody to do it.
Very nice. Anybody else? Okay. Number 19, find something or someone
I
that will
think
make you laugh.
I think Inger had her hand up.
Okay, Inger, please.
Yeah, just a short comment about our lovely Gordon who left us, but
Yes.
who was so inspirational to me and our
Mm.
meeting talk about how he contacted the people every single day, and that was very just along the same lines as you're suggesting, Samuel. Really nice.
Yeah, he was the epitome of that. He really encouraged us to call people as much as we could. Okay. 19, find something or someone that will make you laugh. Humor helps you think more broadly and creatively. Psychologists had students solve puzzles after watching a clip of Robin Williams doing stand-up. 20% more puzzles were solved by sudden insights from students who had watched comedy compared with the students who had watched scary or boring videos beforehand. There are other benefits. Laughter releases endorphins into the body, a chemical 10 times more powerful than morphine, with the same exhilarating effects as an intense workout at the gym. My wife and I belong to a film club, the Saturn Awards, and every Saturday and Sunday we have new films. And if it's a horror movie, we tend not to go because life has enough horrible things thrown at us. And I don't want to encourage that part of reality. I'd rather focus on things that are positive and uplifting. As a student in school, I was the class clown. And I used to stir up things just to get attention with humor, but it backfired a lot because it was my ego needing the attention. And I try to be humorous. I look for ways to be funny, but I hopefully find that it's uplifting for people because humor is a great thing to spread around the world. Anybody else?
Patricia has her hand up, Samuel.
Thank you.
Well, I've been suffering from insomnia for a long time. And since I started to watch Jimmy Kimmel, the comedian, right before going to sleep, I sleep better. And there is something about the releasing in the laughter and the how positive one feels at the moment that makes me feel good. So I wanted to share this.
That's a great idea. Yeah, he has something about his voice makes me want to laugh.
Yes. And he seems like a very kind person. Yes, that too.
So when you see opportunities to add humor to your life, I highly recommend you notice and take that in. And if you can add some humor to a situation, it goes right past the conscious mind. It goes right into the subconscious. We can't block humor. It stands alone. Okay, day 20, deal with the problem you've been neglecting. That's a big one. So you've been putting off handling a difficult person or putting closure to something. By facing conflict and going through the eye of the storm, you'll build resilience to deal with future problems seamlessly. Choosing to deal with the situation today will teach you to be more honest with yourself and others, give you the strength and openness to deal with problems quickly, and help you to avoid procrastination. I think we all suffer from some form of procrastination, and the sooner we make a list of what we need to do in life, and then we sort it to what's most important. And we do those things first, and that the rest of the things are a piece of cake. So anybody have something to say about that? Just whatever you avoid, it sort of gnaws at your spirit and you have to deal with it. Or otherwise you might not be able to sleep at night. Okay, 21. Do something fun. Now that you've dealt with resolving a conflict, reward yourself with something fun. Science has found that people who have fun on the job are more creative and productive, make better decisions, and get along better with colleagues. Another study discovered that to unlock your creative potential, go out and play to lift your mood, and then come back to the problem. I have a friend, Bruce Dixon, who's been encouraging me to deal with my inner child. I'm very extroverted, and he says, go inside and talk to that little boy in you. I call him Sammy, and that was my name. And give him some attention and ask him what he wants to do for fun. And then follow up and do it. And it's really hard for me to do this, but I've started. It's a long path. We all have areas we need to improve on. And I need to improve on connecting with my inner emotional boy. So that's my challenge. Anybody else? Okay. Build up your faith. I don't speak of religion, which has been abusive to so many. I speak of a faith, whatever your belief system, that comes from a deep spiritual connection with a power greater than yours, a power that extends your grace, forgiveness, and love. It's faith that strengthens you and makes you endure your trials, a faith that helps you to realize it's no longer about you. I say keep the faith, whatever it is. What makes you move and what moves your soul, your spirit. Yes, Hyacinth.
Yeah, I would like to share an acronym for faith. It's
Okay.
friends are instrumental to healing. I love that. I actually write that in when I sign my books. I offer
Nice.
yet another acronym. Yeah, because it's so wonderful. And I love this. Thank you for your wonderful sharing, Sam.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. I write that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay, thank you. Have lunch with someone and listen to that person selflessly. Key word is selflessly. A lot of times when we're talking to someone, we can't wait to share what we have to say. And that takes away from our ability to really focus on the other person and give them the attention that they need. Give someone your full undivided attention and listen to his or her story. The best listeners I've written about before have an uncanny ability to listen intuitively to the other person before responding. They listen with no modus operandi. How can I help the other person? If you go through life, how can I be of service to whoever it is you're talking to or being with? Your life becomes an art of joy. Anybody have some examples of that?
I do.
Okay. Lovita.
Yeah.
Inger,
What, Patricia?
oh, I was saying that Inger also had her hand up after
Okay,
you.
sure. Inga, next.
Okay. I started a different ritual in the morning as I'm opening the windows and making my bed. I just talk to my beloved and say, what wonderful love song are we going to sing today? What song of love of life are we going to live? I start off with a question, and it's prefaced by my intention. And I find that it really does set the tone for the day, and I'm experiencing wonderful shifts happening that I were probably there and I didn't notice before. Thank you, Samuel. This is great.
Sure. Inger?
Yeah, well, one struggle I've had in my life is really to just listen without trying to give advice, being a psychologist, I think. But so one of the things I've been looking at and working with for myself is just try to listen with your heart, not your head. Because if I listen with my heart, then it seems like I don't do it as much.
Great advice. Hyacinth. Oh, okay. So onward and upward. Pursue an activity that brings you peace. People protest and to have more peace in the world. Get involved in an activity that's enjoyable, something that will bring back that bounce in your step. What it is that you love to do. What brings you peace? Hint, think hobbies, nature, friends, or exercise. I often take the lunch hour to swim as it releases endorphins, which is going to bring you peace. As a kid, I used to walk down the street skipping because I was just so happy. I wanted to skip. And it's a little hard for me to do that now. But I want to be able to skip in my life. My inner self wants to still skip and be at peace. Anybody have an example what brings them peace? Give peace a chance. Okay, 20. Oh, hi. Your hand is still up, Hyacinth? No?
I like to prepare gratitude journals for people. It encourages them to actually use them. I like to date them and then give them to them, write their names in them, and then they write in them every day. That's one of my favorite things to
Sweet.
do.
Think of doing that as opposed to protesting in a peace demonstration. And it's like what you resist persists. So a lot of times when you do that, it backfires and you bring more disturbance into your life, even though your intention is good. So be vigilant of where you put your energy. Look at people in the eye, smile, day 25, and say hello. We live in such a fear-driven and insulated culture that we don't even look people in the eye when we're walking down the street, sitting in subway trains, or even when making our way through office hallways. Just for today, think of strangers as being a little more like you and treat them with the kindness and respect they deserve. Look them softly in the eye, smile, and give a warm greeting. When I teach my sacred geometry workshop, one of the closing things I end with is a quote from Einstein where he talks about how difficult it is to see the other in yourself. When we go to the mall, 19 out of 20 people could care less about you. They're just concerned with shopping for themselves, their friends, and their family. You're in the way. But it's that 1 in per 20 that you can look at and they look back at you and you're like brothers and sisters. And it opens up the world of possibilities that we all are actually one. And that's a giant leap in consciousness. And Einstein says none of us are there all the time, but the closer we get to that oneness connection, the more we're in touch with the universe and what is and God. So, anybody have a reflection about that?
Sam,
Hi,
I have a comment for the
Patricia.
prior slide
Go
about
for
peace.
it.
What gives me peace is volunteering, helping to feed the homeless. I go to clean the beach with this environmentalist group, picking up plastic and garbage that hurts the environment and the sea animals. And just knowing that I'm contributing my little grain of sand in the big picture gives me a lot of peace.
Good. Lori hasn't spoken yet.
I ran into a man in the hallway last year, and he's a nice acquaintance. I would just say hello to him, and our eyes met, and I smiled at him. I said, "How are you?" And he said, "My father just died,
Oh,
and I am having such a hard time." He was Armenian and very expressive, but he felt he needed to hold it himself, all those feelings, and tears came to him. And he expressed how he felt, that he just felt he needed to hold it for the family because he's now the man in the family. But as the days, when I ran into him again, a couple of days later, I just saw that, our eyes connected, we hugged, and it just felt like there was the connection of oneness, of supporting each other. And um, there was beauty there, and I noticed that it continued to lift as he could just exchange with me when I just spontaneously or synchronously ran into the hallway with him. That's what I want to share. The oneness.
thank you. Hyacinth.
Oh yeah,
Unmute.
I do think there is power in making eye contact because it lets the person know that you're present with them and that your greeting is just not willy-nilly, that you're really um appreciating them and listening and being aware when you share your greeting. I think eye contact is vital.
Good. Paul and Bonnie. Unmute.
So every morning we take a walk and we see people on the walk. Some we know, some we don't. But we always look at them and say, "Good morning."
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then, some are surprised, most smile and return the greeting. So we just want to spread joy in the
Yeah.
morning when
Yeah.
we pass people. So,
That's a big part of the walk. It's not just the walking and the exercise, which is great, but it's just seeing people. And some people won't even look over. That happens sometimes, but most of the time we always have to do it first usually, but they'll come back and be really happy to have that greeting. So it's really lovely.
Sweet inspiration.
Yeah.
26. Take some quiet time alone to reflect. For 30 to 60 minutes, remove yourself from the noise, clutter, distractions, screaming kids, and busyness of life. It helps to do it first thing after you wake up. Go out into the stillness of the morning, sit on a dock under a large tree or on a swing bench, meditate on the good things of life, close your eyes, breathe through your stomach, and center yourself. Setting aside this little ritual makes the rest of your day seem manageable. You'll notice a difference and a weight off your shoulders. Uh, what you do the first thing in the morning sets the tone for your whole day. And if you work on raising your vibration and increasing your magnetism when you go out into the world, you don't get pulled down by the world, but your presence in the world uplifts everything around you. So again, it's a way of being at cause, not at effect. So when we empower ourselves, we automatically empower others. Day 27. Look at a situation by taking in the whole picture. We call it self-awareness. It's choosing to see two sides of an issue by tapping into our feelings and those of others for a different outcome. It helps us to respond instead of to react to people. By directing negative thoughts and emphasizing by redirecting negative thoughts and emphasizing positive ones, you can be the real you and enjoy interpersonal relationships much better. I find politics, engaging in politics with people, to be a no-sum game. And I have the advantage or disadvantage of being able to see situations from both sides of the issue. So I have empathy for each point of view. And sometimes I don't even have my own opinion because I can see, depending on your past circumstances, the validity of why you think the way you do. So if we focus on how can we uplift the other person instead of how can we win over them to think like us, which they have a different life experience. They're not going to think like us. Anyways, anybody have something to say?
Hey, Samuel, Tim here. I would like to say that I studied under John Grinder for a lot of years, and he always said, the minute you have a point of view, take the other point of view, and then take a look at that, go inside of that for a while. And then he said, come outside and look from the outside at both your point of view, the other point of view, and from the outside. It truly was one of the most valuable things I have ever learned. I never get all wrapped around the axle about politics and this party and that party. Just by using this, it was one of the most valuable things. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Okay,
Samuel, I have something I want to share.
please, Lavita.
Since COVID and, all the rise and fall and different perspectives, I started noticing children in carts where their parents are shopping and distracted or hurried or having more than one child with them, and the chaos that brings. And usually I will have a mask on when I'm out in public or in a store. And I started playing like a peekaboo game with the little ones.
Huh.
Some are even over the shoulder of their parent, and a little hand will come out, and I'll move my fingers the way they're moving their fingers. And then I'll pull my mask up and down and smile. And that eye contact that happens, where the recognition of someone is playing, they get, and I have tears on it, children get playing. And I've had more than one parent turn around and smile and say, thank you.
Huh.
It takes the scariness out of the adult world in my mind and brings a different perspective of, this is a safe world for you to be in. And momentary connection is priceless. Again, thank you, Samuel.
Thank you for being the 1 out of 20. Okay, 27. Look at a situation and taking in the whole picture. We call it self-awareness. It's choosing to see two sides of an issue by tapping into
Samuel,
our
we just
feelings.
did. Samuel, we just did that. I think we're on
I'm
28.
sorry.
Yeah.
You're right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Tim. Reframe 28. Do you ever hear that voice inside your head that tells you things like, I screwed up again? It's worthiness, it's worthlessness, or I can't do this. I've never been able to do it. It's not going to work now. This is negative self-talk, and it can be toxic as it reinforces irrational thoughts. Catch yourself in the act of using negative words or phrases and identify the triggers. Any demands are demands at work piling up. Are things at home not so peachy? Stop your thought midstream by saying to yourself or in your head, stop. Then dig deep down inside yourself and reframe your assumptions. Are you assuming something is a negative event when it isn't necessarily? Stop and reframe and see if you can come up with a neutral or positive replacement. Any comments? Okay, I guess we can agree with that. 29. Readjust the strict rules you impose on yourself. Are you perfectionist? Identify with one personal rule you live by that's rigid, unfair, or unhelpful. Then reword it. can be more helpful, flexible, and forgiving. Then put your new rule into practice. I ran cross country and track in high school, and our coach always said, give 110%. And I took him literally, and we used to run at UCLA 2 miles. The first half mile was up Sunset Boulevard, and I went into oxygen debt. And I kept running as if I didn't have oxygen debt. And it would have been my best time, but my whole body collapsed about 15 yards before the finish line. I got up and I dropped down again. I tried to call and I crawl and I dropped down a third time. And they had to move me away from the entrance to the chute. And the coach made me runner of the week. But in my mind, I framed that as a failure because I gave my best and I didn't succeed. So it's all in how you frame things and how we pose the situation in our consciousness. So it's important to monitor your thoughts and try to frame things in a way that's productive and positive to your well-being. Day 29. Day 30. Relax and be more spontaneous. Doing both are really necessary for healthy living. So if you're at work, take regular breaks. Stretch, do breathing exercise, go for a walk outside, take a 15-minute nap, play a game, or just enjoy yourself. Add spontaneity to your life by going on a date with your spouse to a new ethnic restaurant, stopping afterward to watch the sunset. And next week, think about picking up a new hobby. Surprise yourself. I have a lifestyle where I try to be as spontaneous as possible. And I was in a men's group for many years, and they wanted me to make goals and say how I was going to regulate them to prove that I achieved them. And I couldn't do it. It just was, I write down in my schedule book what I have to do, but everything else I reserve for spontaneity. So if something comes up,
Sure.
I'm free to go for it. And I got to an impasse where I could no longer be in the group. And I found that once I quit the group, I was accomplishing a lot more because I wasn't feeling that imposed pressure, which was not my style. We have to honor our rhythm, who we are. Any comments? Okay, last one. Spend some quality time with an elderly person. That's a good one. Elderly people have a rich and long history full of stories, experiences, and perspectives you've never thought of from simpler days gone by. There are many wins for you. It teaches you to be a better listener, builds up your patience, since elderly people typically speak slower and you acquire new wisdom. They benefit from your attention and kindness. I love the idea of bringing the elders and the young kids together to spontaneously motivate and enrich each other's lives. We learn how to be like children again, which is our essence, and they learned from our life experience. It's a natural connection. It's a win-win. Anybody have something to say? Hyacinth.
Yes, that idea of bringing the elderly and the youth together. I've been praying on starting something called Senior to Senior, bringing high school seniors together with senior citizens.
Oh.
There
Yeah,
you go.
thank you.
Sure.
Hmm.
Anyone else? God bless the elders, our peers. Yes, Bonnie.
Daniel, I was just cracking up because I thought, well, we are the elderly people. So
Who knew?
I'm not sure what that means, but we try to entertain ourselves and listen.
And the most fun we have is with our 3-year-old granddaughter when we go
There
Exactly.
you
over.
go.
She
Yeah.
insists that we play,
Yeah.
you know. I'm sitting on the couch. She says, stand up, throwing a ball back and forth, whatever she wants to do. And it just brings us joy because she's just playing all the time, loving all the time. She said the other day, put her hands in the air and says, I love you more than the clouds in the sky, and so on and so on. She just went on, just full of love, full of energy, and just reminds us what life is all about.
Go find a child to be with if you don't have one.
Yeah, find a child to play with.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope you take to heart some of these suggestions. They all have their validity. What would your life look like if you practiced some of these things every day, extending this plan beyond the 31-day cycle? It just might help you live the life you've always wanted rather than settling for whatever comes your way. So if you're feeling mopey, sad, bad, uncared for, unconnected, you have a choice. You can reach, if you're feeling lonely, go out and become a friend of someone. It could even be a stranger. We always have a choice. And I encourage you to incorporate as many of these exercises that really move you. And you can shift your life and make it what you want to make it. We have that choice. And when one individual shifts, it shifts the entire universe. We are quantumly connected to everything. So as we raise our consciousness, as we grow, the whole zeitgeist of humanity grows with us. If you think about the power of that, we're unlimited. So go out there and make a difference and be happy while you're doing it.
Okay. Thank you, Samuel. That was incredible. Thank you so, so much.
Good.
And
okay, I'll stop sharing now, and then you could go on with the business and everything. Okay, here we go.